notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co.
All right, good morning.
Let's go.
Here on this Wednesday morning, hump day, we are rolling through the first week of Tingle and Co. here in the new studio. Good morning, Lloyd. Good morning, Jonathan. Great to see you guys' faces. How are you?
Thank you. Alive. We're still doing it.
That's all that matters.
We're still doing it.
Appreciate everybody getting in here and joining us this morning on this fine Wednesday as we are getting ready for LSU baseball in the Super Regionals as they will host West Virginia this weekend. The game times were announced. We'll go right into the headlines. The game times for this weekend were announced. LSU gets a Saturday, Sunday, Monday slate, 1 p.m. on Saturday, 5 p.m. on Sunday, and then Monday if necessary. Obviously, we will be live from Golf Suites for both of those games, Saturday and Sunday, and on Monday too if they make it there, but hopefully just on Saturday and Sunday. And we're going to get into this because this was the biggest news of the day yesterday, and it is such good news for LSU because of just the way it worked out schedule-wise. Also saw yesterday that LSU is the betting favorite to win the whole thing. Looked at it on DraftKings. They were plus 330 to win it all. Arkansas right behind at plus 380, and Tennessee's not far behind them. So the three of the 4 SEC teams left are the 3 betting favorites to win the whole thing. But I saw LSU won a lot of people over the other night, just kind of the way they were able to get the job done and tame the beast that was Little Rock. Also saw, shout out to Todd Politz, who just throws out the most obscure and awesome stats and numbers at you all the time. Casan Evans, 9 strikeouts in a row in that game against Little Rock the other night was the record for the most consecutive in a game at LSU. I got to pull up the tweet.
I didn't have that in there. That's
right. No, I can pull up the tweet. I can pull up the. He has it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just didn't. I just put in the headline, but I'll pull it up right now. Police, we've got 9 for Casan Evans versus Little Rock.
Ty Floyd?
Nope. The real Ben McDonald, at real Ben McDonald on Twitter. Ben McDonald had 8. Anthony Ianson with 7 versus North Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Cade Anderson with 7 versus Southeastern last season in that impressive game. Then Scott Schultz and Ben McDonald again, both with 7. So
Ben McDonald threw 1,000 innings.
Right.
and 250 pitches.
And was the
Yeah.
greatest of all time.
I do wonder what he thinks sometimes. We're like, oh, watching pitch count. He's like, pitch count.
You know what they did to my shoulder?
Have you ever been to war?
Yeah, I mean, he probably feels like that Texas Tech softball pitcher that's thrown 470 straight pitches.
And they're like bat and play
Which is-
basketball at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. I gotta go to practice
Which
again.
which I know we talked about it yesterday, but I understand that softball is an easier movement,
It's the most natural rotation of the arm.
but still, 466 straight pitches, I still feel like
Doing anything
is,
that many times
is somewhat of like a
Great
health
call.
hazard.
is bad for you.
Shout out the Goon Squad.
Shout out the Goon Squad. PFF put their top 5 defensive lines for next season in college football out. And if I remember correctly, as I wait for this link to open up, 3 of the 5 are on LSU's schedule for this upcoming season,
Oh,
including
cool.
number 1, which we've talked about number 1 many times. And it's number 1 on the defensive line list, and it's also week 1 of LSU season as Clemson comes in on Pro Football Focuses as their top defensive line going into next season. The rest of the list, Alabama at 2, and then you've got Florida at 4. Texas Tech and Penn State are 3 and 5, but Clemson, Alabama, and Florida all on the PFF top 5 defensive lines.
How are they doing that?
Texas Tech spent some money.
Oh, they've been big in the United States.
I mean, they spent $1 million on this softball pitcher, and then they went out and they spent a whole lot in the transfer portal for football this past offseason. So LSU has 3 of the top 5 top defensive lines on their schedule next year. Derek Carr has officially retired, as it was put out yesterday. Our guy Nick Underhill, who hopefully will join us at 8:30 this morning, put out that it is official, like it's in the book, done. He's officially retired.
For 1 year.
And what really confirmed it is Kool-Aid McKinstry is now number 4.
Oh, wow.
Made it happen quick. The second the retiring was over, I saw a notification come across or something on my Twitter
So
timeline.
he
that was
definitely
like,
hated him.
Yeah, it was like,
that.
let me get that number.
The only thing that would have been better is if Michael Thomas had come back and been number 4.
That would have been awesome. But he couldn't have done that. He would have had to be 13. But that would have been the ultimate, like,
Flex.
petty play. And then on the NBA front, we're not going to talk about this too much, but the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau.
Crazy.
Which was unbelievably surprising yesterday. Me and Lloyd were on the phone, and I was like, oh my gosh, the Knicks just fired Tibbs after they just made the Eastern Conference Finals for the second season in a row. And just to give a little bit of, I guess, perspective on that, Willie Green is still the Pelicans' head basketball coach.
Hey, trust the process.
The Grizzlies fired their coach midseason while they were on the track to make the playoffs. The Nuggets were the 4th seed in the West, fired their coach midseason. Now the Knicks makes the Eastern Conference Finals and fire their coach, all while Willie Green has the longest leash I've ever seen in my life. Don't get me wrong, I like Willie Green, and he did a great job starting this era of the Pelicans, but it's getting out of hand at this point.
Well, also look at the NBA. Who's coaching the Pacers? Where was he?
Rick Carlisle?
Rick
He was
Carlisle
in
was the
Dallas.
Mavericks coach forever. Wins an NBA Finals against probably one of the
biggest upsets.
ever, and then loses his job 3 years later.
Yep.
And now he's coaching the Pacers and
Into the
they're
NBA Finals.
It's just dumb.
It truly is. Nobody has cracked the code on how
Stop firing people.
or you when it's the right time you need to fire
Or just
people.
go find you where was Tom Thibodeau before? The Chicago Bulls got to
Minnesota.
the Eastern Conference Finals a ton.
Yep.
Then he was in Minnesota, playoff team.
Yep.
Chicago playoff team. Knicks playoff team. He just can't win the finals.
Assistant coach on the Celtics staff under Doc Rivers when they won.
Another coach that
championship.
keeps
Getting passed around.
yeah
Well, it's also the other thing is it's just a revolving door of
the same people.
It's the carousel.
It's like the NFL.
Yeah, it is.
Well, and then
It is.
some team will all of a sudden hire like a Finnish guy to be the head coach. That'll happen. It'll be like
Well,
4
yeah.
retreads. And then
Coach
it's like,
Bratt?
There's a Finnish guy we found.
David Blatt.
David Blatt.
David
Uh-huh,
Blatt,
I knew that's
was
who you were
one.
gonna remember.
But no, it's the Nuggets' current coach, right?
He was an assistant on their staff, and he's going to end up being their head coach.
Yeah, but he's just some Finnish fellow. You know, it's like that and 4 guys that have had 10 other NBA jobs.
It's unbelievable.
But those
It's like
last
they're
two,
coaching every team.
Yes.
those last 2 headlines though do really kind of shine a light on the incredibly shitty state of New Orleans professional sports.
Yes. It's in such a bad place.
Both of those teams are just fucking disasters.
Yeah,
And they care so much.
that's the worst part. Is like it would be
Couldn't
fine
happen
if
to
New
it worse.
Orleans didn't care, but they love their sports teams and they got dealt
There's just no
quite
reason
the hand.
to feel any hope.
But at least the Saints have a little bit of like
It
a
feels
light
new.
right now.
Yeah.
Like you can see it on Nick's face when he comes on the show now. There's a little bit of light in his eyes now that was not there
It's
a
like
month ago.
A 180-pound baby was taken out of him. He's like, at least we've delivered it to term. We're good.
And it's the same way Jared Jones felt
Oh,
Monday night.
deposited.
Speaking of Jared Jones, starting off the 2 claps today. Well, obviously, he got his 2 claps yesterday, but the exit velos that I saw posted yesterday for LSU.
Those are felonies.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 5 consists of 2 guys. And one of the guys is only on there one time. Jared Jones' home run came in at 111.5 miles per hour off the bat. The other 4 fastest exit speeds for LSU are all Ethan Frey. He goes 116.5 off the bat, 113 off the bat, 107 off the bat, 106 off the bat.
116.5.
Like, and that 116.5, I think that was that double
that
ripped off
double.
the wall. That was just absolutely
Bounced
pieced.
15 yards back.
But I mean, these numbers, this is unbelievable. These numbers, I mean, and it is believable because it happens every single game. But like, look at that
Jared
list.
Jones, Ethan Frey. Yeah.
Like that, I mean, that's about as intimidating as it gets.
There's a reason we sexualize him.
So those exit velos deserve 2 claps. Ready. Next up on the list,
As long as I could last.
Leonard Fournette held a youth camp at the Central High School football field yesterday, which it was great to see Lenny back out there working with the youth. And Jacques had some really good content from there. It was good to see Lenny back around the what?
Lyric's 10.
Huh? I know.
That was I'm old.
Like full grown. Like Jacques put the picture out, and I was like, "Time out."
Yeah.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, Leonard was 10 years ago.
I know, it's crazy. And so it was good to see Lenny working with the future of Baton Rouge football yesterday
And he wants the
as he
Saints
held
to
his
sign
youth
him.
camp. And he wants,
We still ride real hard for Leonard.
Of
Lloyd
course.
and I. In Oblivion.
Yeah.
The role-playing video game.
yes.
We made Fornitus,
That's
a
awesome.
1-to-1 replica of Leonard Fournette.
That
was.
is awesome.
We spent more time on the,
Yeah.
the character creation than the game.
That's the coolest thing.
But
I like.
yeah, he was just out there slaying goblins or whatever.
Yeah.
So Leonard will literally
we just
never
didn't
forget
even
you.
give him a weapon. He just ran through people.
Of course. I mean, that's Leonard Fournette.
Just use his shoulders.
But I mean, as much as like some LSU players will get, into the NFL and they'll get really acclimated to whatever city they're in, or they'll kind of back away from the home state, it's always good when you see the LSU legends stick around Louisiana and do stuff like this. So 2 claps for Leonard Fournette. Ready. LSU football put out a really, really funny – there were a couple funny videos that came out from LSU football on social media yesterday. This first one was put on LSU football's TikTok, and Bappa put it out yesterday on Twitter, and it was one of the funniest things I had ever watched. And then last night I'm scrolling through TikTok again, and there's a video of Garrett Nussmeier that also was one of the funniest things I've ever watched. So we wanted to take a second today, give 2 claps to the LSU football social team, and then watch these videos. So 2 claps, ready. And then watch these 2 hilarious videos that have come out from LSU football.
If anything, it is. And before you see these, like I have the Garrett Nussmeier one pulled up. Mm-hmm. It actually means quite a bit somehow if you want to really dive into what makes good teams good.
Yeah, after this one, we're going to talk about it for a second, and then we'll get into the next one.
Because
this one means a little bit more. Well, let me explain a little bit of what it is.
Okay.
Just real quick. This is Nussmeier's a trend on TikTok it's guys calling their guy friends telling them good night because supposedly it makes them uncomfortable. And so this is Garrett Nussmeier calling his friends, which ends up just being
all the wide
receivers and a tight end. And it's some of the funniest and best content you'll see today.
I'll tell you good night.
You was calling to tell me good night.
Yeah.
calling to tell me good night. I want you to think about what you just said.
Davion Thomas, I believe.
Yeah.
Love you too, brother.
Call and say good night, bro. Love you.
Love you. Hello. Nice. What? Did you just say you love me? I mean, I love you too, but
Darian Brown.
good night. I love you too, bro.
Okay, I just wanted to call and tell you good night.
All right, good night, Troy. Love you, bro.
All right.
Hey, bro, what you on?
Nick Anderson.
Hey, what?
Buddy, love you,
Good
man.
night, bro. Love you, bro.
All right, bro.
Kyle Parker.
What, bro? I'm just checking up on you, bro.
You buddy.
All right, bro. Well, hey,
Good night, too, buddy.
love you, bro.
Trades Green.
Like a springboard.
Love you, bro.
These next two are good too.
All right.
I love you. Hey, you good no friend? How you good?
What up, Coach?
Joe Sloan.
What? What's wrong? I just wanted to, I just wanted you to know I love you and good night.
That's beautiful, man. I love you too.
Uh,
I just want to wish you a good night.
oh yeah.
Nice TikTok Evans video.
Will Campbell. He said, nice TikTok.
Well, he's up on the trends all the
Yes,
time.
yeah. No, I mean, that is as funny as it gets. And the best part is, it's him and his wide receivers. Mm-hmm. And, like, the one that really got me and Lloyd fired up, we watched it before the show this morning, was the way his face lit up when it was Nick Anderson. We were like, oh, my gosh, that's the best thing I've ever seen.
Because that's one of the things that you want to
Yes.
see, like transfer portal, camaraderie, everything working together. Like Nick Anderson has been here, a month?
Yeah.
And he hasn't really been able to practice. You see them work together off
Working
the
out,
field.
yep.
And now it's just that there can't be anything bad to take from that.
No, and then, I mean, Barry and Brown, you can tell they have a really good, like, that is as,
I love you too, man.
like, funny and good of content as it gets. Where, like, this is a quarterback who is best friends with his receivers. Because that was, like, go down the list of who you expect to be his top targets. It was Bauer Sharp, you got Trades Green, you got Barry and Brown, Nick Anderson,
Kyle Parker.
Like, go down the list. Aaron Anderson, which Aaron Anderson is peak Louisiana.
Love you,
Of, like,
buddy.
didn't even flinch.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you too, bro. Night. Like, that's the funniest one to me.
Affection. Affection's normal.
And then you get to see Nuss and Sloan, their relationship. Where, oh man, that's beautiful, man. Which I can't tell if
I don't
that
know-
is sarcasm or if he was.
I don't know what
genuinely-
you're doing, but it's something.
You're up to something.
Yeah. Get the playbook. No,
that-
love you too, buddy.
That was as funny as it gets.
And wholesome.
Yeah, and wholesome. So we'll get to the next video as well. Is this one was from LSU football socials, and Bob put it out yesterday. You'll get another taste of Trades Green's laugh in this one as well, which is the funniest thing, that thing that's come out the last couple days. Is Trades Green's laugh is all over social media. So here it is.
What is it? Is it what guess the celebrities?
So, yeah, this is where LSU created a slideshow, the LSU social team, of the football players as women, like
Celebrity women.
just women in general.
Oh, okay.
And you're telling Michael Van Buren that these are celebrities and he has to guess them. So he's trying, he's saying actual, female celebrities, thinks that's who they are. And then he kind of catches on to it at one point. He was like, wait, that kind of looks like... And then there's one at the end where it's blatant, okay, you know who that is. And then Trades pops up at the end, and Trades is right there watching, and it's hilarious. So here it is. It's Caden Durham.
Erica Badu.
What a guess.
Wait, real?
I'm so serious.
Oh my god. Oh, I really just guessed that one. Alright.
Next one.
That Nick Anderson?
No, that's Ice Spice.
This Ice Spice?
Yeah, that's Ice Spice.
Ew. Alright.
Next one.
Megan Thee Stallion.
That's right.
Oh Oh, I'm about to eye. I'm going undefeated. Hold on. Are there players' faces?
No, that's Emma Watson.
For real?
Yeah, that's Emma Watson.
I thought this was one of the Weeks brothers.
No, that's Emma Watson.
Alright.
Well, that's
So this don't look like Mansoor.
that's from his wife.
Yeah, that's because she's been playing.
For real?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm tripping. Alright.
That's never been.
Yes, it is! Bro, yes, it is! I know I'm not tripping.
That's Glorilla. That's Glorilla.
Just wait, you're about to hear the laugh. It's about to.
That's the last one.
God, that is awesome.
What?
It is the best laugh I've ever heard in my life.
We need like a sound button for
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yes,
gonna get
yeah.
put into the
We have
board.
to.
Absolutely.
That is
But have y'all ever done that with your friends before?
no. I haven't even seen that before.
It's an incredibly confusing.
Oh, he was in
Process.
hell.
Yeah, Michael Van Buren was in a
Sometimes
bag.
You go like, I don't know how to feel about this. Like
That's Monster Delay.
Well, he started to put it
yeah, it's
together.
like, can we turn this off? Like,
and she was able
Maybe I'm tripping.
she was able to gaslight him enough that
All right.
he almost broke on the whichever one it was before the Weeks brother on West Weeks, and it turns into he was like she still wins him over, but then Barry and Brown is like blatantly his face.
Trey's like watching him.
That's Barry, and then they're talking, and then it couldn't have been better timing for it to flip to Trey Green's face on that picture. Shout out to Nussmeier's girlfriend for the first video and LSU football social media for that next one. That is as funny as it gets. And you see the bond in the relationship, like on top of like the enjoyment and the comedy of these two videos.
You don't put this out. Like, you don't even have these ideas or pitch it if you don't know that they're, like, going to react like this. Like, I look into this stuff maybe more than other people do, but I think all this shit matters.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that, like, when you see the LSU baseball team, with, like,
That's-
Goon Squad, all those things, whenever
Yes.
2023, they were
The
all...
clubhouse.
Paul Skenes was, like, making shirts of other, like, the players on the team and wearing them to starts. This kind of thing.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because it comes down to everything we were talking about on yesterday's show.
Yeah.
About the camaraderie and the character of the team. You know, it's like that's where this kind of stuff shines through, and it's typically a really good indicator.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Especially with the portal, dude.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Especially in this era, like that Nussmeier video, it's Nick Anderson, Barry and Brown, Bauer Sharp. Like those guys have been here for a couple months.
Yeah,
that's Michael Van Buren, a transfer quarterback, with Trey Green, who's going in his second year. Like the camaraderie is awesome. As funny as it is, like Lloyd said, you can really put your cap on and look deep into it. Of like, that's great for LSU football. Like that they're all that tight knit and that close. C. Veal said that gets you drafted in the top 10 as long as you produce. Just watching Nussmeier have that relationship with his guys, like that, it's
drafted.
awesome.
Nobody went to his birthday
exactly.
party. Everybody went to his birthday party.
Everybody's at Nuss's birthday party.
And shout out I don't know the girlfriend's name, but this is the
Ella.
second time she's put out content. One was him playing college,
EA college football. Yeah, NCAA college football.
And like it's 11 o'clock at night,
Right.
with the lights off, and he's playing, and she's in bed, and he's like, "No, I got to run it back real quick." He's like, "All right, let's get a score here," and he's running a 2-minute offense,
Right.
as a quarterback and playing with the guys that are on the
No,
team.
it's awesome. Such good content and really good if you're an LSU football fan.
This is
to
also
watch.
good practice for us as like baseball season's about to wind down for this
Oh,
period
yeah.
of time where we have nothing to do to get practice.
Oh,
in.
we could get
overreading into
We could
like
get
social media
Christian
posts and
so-
stuff.
End of the season.
Yeah, it's just good to start get those muscles working.
We could get Christian so well with the like turning our faces into female faces.
Oh, he would have no clue.
He would have.
And then the last one's his ex-girlfriend.
He just like breaks down. The next one, the two claps. Paul Skenes last night. 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. Lowers his ERA to 2.05 on the year. This guy is a created player and is dominating the MLB. But the worst part about that stat line from last night is a loss.
No.
They lost the game.
I mean, he's
The guy that came in after him gave up 2 more runs, and they lose 3-0. The Pirates didn't score a run. It's
the second time that's happened to him this month.
Yeah.
it's-
and it would have happened again, except he went CG. He's
Right.
like, I'm not giving it the ball to anybody else. I'm
No,
tired of
it's-
losing this way. And this is why the Pirates are going to lose him.
Yeah, well, no, my dad's in Portland for work. He FaceTimed me from the Nike store in Oregon, and he sees a Skenes jersey. He was like, "Oh, you want me to get you that?" And I was like, "Yeah, Dad." I was like, "That's fire! Like, bring home a Skenes jersey." He was like, it's a Pirates one. I don't know how long that'll be a thing.
It'll be a relic.
I was like, you're not wrong, right? Because that is bad. So 2 claps for Paul. Ready,
Somebody's got to.
and then 2. I mean,
Just
just
many
A little
claps.
support.
Goes on
it gets a
Pittsburgh
long
baseball
way.
park.
He needs some support, some run support, that's for sure. Next up, the Missouri Valley Conference. Now that we've got super regionals set, I saw this put out by 11.7 on Twitter yesterday. This is the 4th time in the last 5 years, 2022 being the only year out, that the Missouri Valley Conference has had representation in the supers. As in 21, it was DBU, 2023, Indiana State. There's the list, 2024, Evansville, and then this year, Murray State. That shows you how,
Baseball is hard.
spread out baseball is and the difficulty of the sport, because if you there will never be a Missouri Valley Conference football team. Very rarely. I mean, Murray State made it, and Indiana State with basketball here and there, but
Oh, yeah.
this is consistent. John Morant, the Fighting Matt McMahons.
Indiana State.
Murray
wasn't
State.
That, was
Larry
that,
Bird.
Wasn't that the Kareem?
It was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, this is pretty impressive that every year, 4 of the last 5 years, they've gotten a team in
To a super regional.
to a super regional, not just into the postseason, like winning
Playing for
regionals.
Omaha.
And I mean, Dallas Baptist maybe hosts a regional, but like I guarantee you, Indiana State, Evansville, and Murray State. Like Murray State won the Oxford regional. Like these people these teams aren't hosting regionals and winning them.
And I know they're not a Missouri Valley Conference team, but thank God you don't have Arkansas Little Rock on that list.
Arkansas Little Rock on that list as well. So 2 claps for the Missouri Valley Conference. Ready? 2 claps for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is just from a pure sports fan perspective. I saw a video the other day of Travis Hunter lining up next to Brian Thomas Jr. on offense, and then the next clip he's lining up across from Brian Thomas Jr. on defense. And it was probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I would be thrilled.
Like, as much as, is it going to work? I have no idea. From a pure sports fan and football fan perspective, it is awesome that there's a guy that's lining up next to and across from wide receiver run in the same practice, same video. And I'm just glad that the Jags are letting it happen, like supporting it, letting him play offense and defense, because it's going to be pretty awesome if it works out. Like, just from a pure sports fan perspective.
Even if it doesn't work out, it's just going to be cool as hell to watch. Because, I mean, when's the next time we're going to get to see a guy that gets a legit chance to pick at the top of the draft? The other thing that was funny about that video, though, was the very contrasting energies of Brian Thomas.
Yes,
and
very different.
And Hunter's out there
play.
Oh, yeah.
like airboxing, you know,
Yeah.
and Thomas is just kind of all on business, and it was very big brother,
Yeah,
little brother.
It definitely. But it's
Like,
just
that's why Brian Thomas was like an unsung hero, because he never really made any noise. It was just
Right.
like play.
Yeah.
Just play ball.
and he
And
plays,
then you had,
plays ball pretty
you
well.
had Malik Neighbors, Aaron Anderson, like
Right.
the personalities everywhere, and he's like
Kyron Lacey.
Yeah.
His personality's all over the place, and then you have BT who's just like
I
silent.
think I might be the best one.
Y'all just don't know yet. And so shout out to the Jaguars for letting this even happen, because it's going to be pretty cool to actually watch if it works. Because if it works, like,
It opens the door.
imagine like Travis Hunter lining up on offense next to Brian Thomas, and then you're playing the name a team, and he's lining up, or the Vikings, he lines up across from Justin Jefferson. Like, It's just it's as cool as it gets. So 2 claps for the Jags. Ready?
And also, this tugs at my heartstrings because Patrick Peterson,
Yes,
Derek
I knew
Stingley,
you were going to say it.
Dante Jackson, all of these guys that LSU has had, like maybe this will be the impetus where you're like, they can do both. Because I would have loved to see Stingley on offense. I'll continue to say it because, I mean, he was on Ryan Clark's 7-on-7 team, and he said every time we needed a touchdown, I put Derek Stingley, and he had 6 catches for 6 touchdowns.
He's the greatest high school athlete I've ever sat and witnessed with my own 2 eyes. He played Central my sophomore and junior season. My junior year was his senior year, and he, I think, had a pick 6, a kick return, a punt return, and 2 rushing touchdowns. And I was like, what?
We could stop Stingley, we could win.
And so then when he signed with LSU, I looked at my dad. I was like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Like, I watched this guy with my own 2 eyes.
I'm not wrong.
Because, like, he's the only reason Dunham beat Central.
Yeah,
like, the only reason.
Touchdowns.
He scored 6 touchdowns. It was unbelievable. But, yeah, no, so I'm with you. I knew you were going to go that way.
Of course.
But, yes, no, shout out to the Jaguars. Shout out to all those 2 claps for this morning and the headlines going into this weekend. Don't forget, we are brought to you by AJ Sports Cards. I got the sticker on the back of the laptop here. We've got the cards on the table. Shout out to AJ Sports Cards, 3348 Drusilla Lane, open from 9:30 to 6. The number is 225-831-4508. And really excited, tomorrow, the owner of AJ Sports Card will be coming in as it's their 2-year store anniversary. She will be coming into the studio to rip some cards, rip some packs open live at 8:45 to close out the show tomorrow morning.
Bring your appetite.
And Lloyd might just be pretty hungry.
I just think we have to do what we do on the wheel.
Tomorrow.
We'll pick up. We'll do exactly what it is. If somebody has to eat, somebody has to eat. If one of our teams doesn't get called, then we'll be okay. But other than that, you have to have the threat of.
Yes.
I don't think there's carbohydrates.
Good. That was a good one.
I'm going to be horrified.
No, I'm telling you, whenever I was sat at the table across from her and I was like, we have eaten the cards before, she thought it was hilarious. So I think she would love to witness it tomorrow. Like, she rips a card pack open and it's a card that's worth $500 and Lloyd goes, let me eat it.
Got to.
Rules
are the rules.
Gotta have it.
She gets to see real idiots up close.
She will be in studio tomorrow opening some card packs with
Shohei
us.
Ohtani rookie card? Delicious.
Delightful.
In the cheese dip.
I'll have 2. And so that's we're really excited about that tomorrow, and the rest of the fun stuff we'll be able to do with that partnership. But in LSU news, the game times being announced for this weekend, the biggest news that dropped yesterday outside of Trey Green's laugh, which is obviously the number 1 headline. LSU will play at 1 p.m. on Saturday, 5 p.m. on Sunday, and then TBD on Monday if needed. Look, I was fired up when I saw this come across my timeline yesterday. Lloyd actually sent the text to me before I put it out on social media because a lot of conversation, we even had it yesterday about what does it look like for Anthony Ianson if it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Where do you fit him in? Also, Cade Anderson pitched on a Saturday. The schedule's all moved around and mixed up. You had a lot of questions answered by the Saturday, Sunday, Monday slate. That means you'll have Cade Anderson game 1, 7 days rest. You'll have Anthony Ianson game 2, 6 days rest. That is as confidence-inducing as it can be for LSU fans. Like, when you're looking ahead to West Virginia and the Super Regionals this weekend, you think of how do you win a Super Regional? How many games do you need to win, Lloyd?
2.
2. You need to win 2 games.
It's just 2 games.
Is there a better team in the country set to win 2 games in a weekend? Like, one thing we've seen from LSU, like, have they lost games in a week? Yeah, weekends. With the way Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson are pitching right now,
they usually win on Friday and Saturday.
You can't not be confident what LSU can do in a game 1 and a game 2 to win 2 this weekend. I can't think of a team in a better position than LSU when it comes to winning 2 games. And the NCAA, with the scheduling, helped LSU out big time, as you'll have Anderson on 7 days rest, Ianson on 6 days rest. They'll be ready to go for game 1 and game 2. It was really good news yesterday when you saw that.
Yeah, because I would imagine the biggest thing was You threw because it was only 20 pitches.
Yeah.
But he came and he threw.
He threw it on Monday.
He threw twice in 3 days, and whether 20 pitches or not, you'd like to see him get 6 days rest. And now that you see how the schedule bears out, it's like, oh, you're kind of back to your regularly scheduled programming. Yeah. And if LSU, you can't, it's no guarantees in life. There's no guarantees in baseball. But if I have 2 guys that I know have been putting their best foot forward on Friday and Saturday, if you're West Virginia, you're probably looking at, damn, they might have 2 of the best pitchers in the country going back to back, and they do.
Yeah, I was looking at.
There's no breaks if you're on the other side.
No, and I was looking at West Virginia. I watched. Shout out to Wheels. He deserves 2 claps too. Ready? Because he makes life so much easier.
Wheels?
Yes, that YouTube channel when it comes to trying to watch games from the past weekend. He has them out quick. And so I watched a couple of West Virginia's games from last weekend, but I looked at the numbers as well, and they have a left-handed pitcher, Kern, who's got 100 strikeouts. That's their leader. And so I took a quick peek at LSU's numbers just to get like a gauge,
perspective.
Like what am I really looking at? And I saw Anthony Hines and Kate Anderson like 150 and 140 strikeouts, and I was like, oh gosh, I've never I know how good they are, and I know the number's high, but I never really looked at it from that perspective of okay, I'm trying to dissect what these strikeout numbers look like. You've got 100 from West Virginia's best guy. LSU's got 2 with 40 plus more strikeouts than him. So like we said, it is hard to not feel confident if you're LSU and all you have to do is win 2 games.
Well, and for not just an LSU perspective, but from a Vegas perspective, when it was plus 1,000 for LSU to win a national championship in baseball. Now it's at what, plus 350?
Plus 330. I got it at plus 800 before the season on DraftKings. I think it was February 4th I'd put my bet in, and the season started on February 14th. I got it at plus 800. It is now plus 330 for LSU to win the whole thing with 2 weeks left to go in the season, or 3 weeks left to go in the season because Omaha, I think the championship game would be on June 23rd, I believe. So
that's the last day you can play.
Yeah. So it was it's as confidence-inducing, and that's why Vegas has noted it like that. If there was a betting number for LSU to make Omaha, it would probably be in the minuses.
When did you put your bet in?
Probably not as early as you did.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm a sick man.
I'll get you the official date. I'm more of when it gets closer to time. It was February. We started talking baseball. I was like, you know what? Let me make sure I have my skin in the game and drop this bet down. It was February 3rd, 2025. I put LSU to win the College World Series at plus 800.
January 20th.
You got 2 weeks before me.
That's super healthy.
At 2:55 a.m.
Oh,
2:55. Mine was at.
You didn't need to let
Mine
that
was
part
at 10.
out.
Mine was at 10:05 a.m. It was right after we finished doing the show on February 3rd. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and bet on LSU. You're doing it at 3 a.m.
It's a real, just excellent example of the gulf between you two guys.
There's plenty of that. You watch this show long enough, there's plenty of examples of the gulf between me and Lloyd. But that's why it works. Brian Burgess.
I did it again.
Do what?
I did it again.
Did what again? You just bet again?
No, February 5th.
You put down a separate for the same
Oh,
thing?
he does this all the time.
I forget.
He forgets that he's already bet it,
That was
and he
in
bets it again.
January.
He remembers that he bets it after he already bet it the second or third or fourth time. It's unbelievable. He's a sick man.
He really is.
He is a sick man.
Unwell.
Brian Burgess in the chat. If I can't get a ticket, I'm going to come to Golf Suites on Saturday.
Come on.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
We're excited to get this thing rocking and rolling.
Oh, God.
Golf Suites, what you got? You did it again?
Well,
Third time?
I'm just looking at my history, and it's not good. January 20th, College World Series winner LSU. January 21st, LSU 2026 College Football National Champion. Put that future in at plus 2,200.
Yeah, get that in
And
there.
then February 5th, College Football National Championship LSU.
Oh.
February 5th, College World Series champion LSU. I guess I just forgot that I had done it and went ahead and doubled down.
That's
So
awesome.
we got both of them in, and
You
Garrett
are-
Nussmeier to win the Heisman.
God,
It's been a great day for me. I was like, let's fire all
you
these
were
off.
feeling great. You were feeling great. But yeah, like Brian Burgess said, Swing By Golf Suites on Saturday, they are really helping out the watch party as they're offering some really great things in tandem with it. You can get free hour of golf during the watch party. So like if you show up while we are doing the live watch party on Saturday at 1 or Sunday at 5, mention Tingle & Co. When you get there, you get a free hour of crushing golf balls. So come inside to the bar, watch the game with us. You start to get stressed out or angry,
Go hit a couple balls.
go hit a couple balls.
Or-
You get a free hour of crushing golf balls.
Or
to let your
LSU's
anger
up
out.
12-0. Like, hey, you know what?
You know what? I'm gonna go hit a couple
I'm already
balls.
here.
Already here.
Clemson in the
Things-
car.
LSU hits a home run while you're in the bar with us.
Free shot.
Free shot. And then at
That
any
mug
time you go
drank.
to anytime you go to Golf Suites and you mention Tingle & Co. outside of a watch party, you get 10% off your golf for that day. So if you're in town and you're not in Alec Box this weekend, swing by Golf Suites in Baton Rouge. We will be in the bar live watching LSU baseball at 1 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday, and we'll see if Christian is alive, happy, sad. We'll find out. So if you're around, pull up.
See if you can hit your pitching wedge farther than Christian.
See if you can hit your pitching wedge 189 like Christian says he did, that liar.
Which is also the distance he claimed to hit every other iron, which I thought was
He says he hits every iron the same. Nice.
yeah.
It's like Bryson DeChambeau but in reverse.
Literally. So yeah, if you're in town, swing by the Golf Suites and enjoy some LSU baseball with us, some food, some beverage, and some golf.
Maybe a little hand holding.
Maybe a little hand holding. Lloyd's hands will be ready if Justin rejects him because
things
it
take a
really
turn,
seems to be
you know?
moving that
Need
way.
to fix that karma.
Matthew Conkle, I'm really upset about the 1 p.m. time. The box deserves night games only. That was going to be my next topic / question. Lloyd, your thoughts on the game times for LSU?
You got to ride. You already saw it work out. Like, there's a reason he gives himself, or the NCAA, whoever it is.
Yep.
You get that window because of the Louisiana weather. And Jay said it himself. He's like, I'm from California, coached in Nevada and Arizona. They didn't tell me about the weather when I signed the contract. And now he's seeing how Louisiana weather can be so fickle. And the most important thing that you have, what was the biggest thing we illustrated coming into this? Win 2 games. Why do you think you're going to win 2 games? You're
Starting pitching.
You would be as behooved as you are that the game might start at 1 o'clock. Imagine the other side where you try to start it at 6.
Starts raining at
8,
7.
and you have 1 2/3 from Cade Anderson, and he has to come
Yeah,
out.
like 1 p.m. basically means you have 2 start times, right? There's the
Right.
1 p.m. start, and then
Right.
if the 3 o'clock rain comes in, it's a 6
He's
o'clock
giving
game,
himself
actually.
9 hours.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, and looking at the weather on my weather app on my phone for Saturday, there's a 45% chance of
course.
precipitation at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's either hustle up or slow down.
And there's a 25% chance at 10 a.m. So you fit the game window right in between the 2% chances of rain. And then Sunday, it gets up to a 55% chance at 9 p.m. So
1 a.m.
But you know a great place to sit out a rain delay is
golf
Golf
suites.
suites.
Golf suites, because that's where we'll be.
That's what will be discounted drinks.
And then you can leave.
No discounted drinks, actually.
Yes.
They had to double check.
We
They had to
amended
fix
that rule.
They had to end
Still
that
a
rule.
great time.
It is a great time.
Free shots.
Free shots for a home run.
Bear Jones.
Discounted golf.
Bear Jones is paying his NIL back with free shots.
That's true. That is very true. There was we were talking about the game times, and I think that you can't really be that mad. Like, I almost put out a tweet yesterday because I was like, "Oh, it looks like Box After Dark is over for now, as it's a 1 p.m. and a 5 p.m." But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say that because you never know. Like I just said, there's a 35% chance of rain late on Saturday. Brian Burgess says weather is going to be great on Saturday. That's awesome. Brian Burgess, I'm glad it's an afternoon game. I'm too old for those 8 p.m. starts. Sabrion Green, I live in Georgia. I can't take no 9 p.m. games. Look, if you're not going to be in Alec Box, the AC is nice in the golf suites. I'm telling you.
It really
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm for it. I'm good with it. George Ray, it's chance of rain, scattered showers 30 on Saturday, that 30% chance. So we'll see what it looks like. But that's why the game times are what they are. Like, I don't know if Jay made the decision or how it truly works, but you can tell the way it's continued to the theme around LSU game time starts at 1 p.m. It just looks like we're being prepared just in case weather, because the last thing you want to happen, as confident as you are in going into this weekend, as we just touched on, like when you're talking about win 2 games, Lloyd said it, you've got your starting pitcher, you've got 2 aces that you think can go out there and win you 2 games. The last thing you want to happen is rain to come in an hour into the game and you got to pull your guy in the 3rd inning. Because the best thing that can happen for LSU is Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson go into the 7th like they have consistently over the last couple of weekends and put you in a position where they've given up 0, 1, 2 runs. LSU's offense, as much as there has been struggles here and there, with those 2 guys on the mound, it really doesn't take much from the offense. Matthew Conkle, the NCAA decides the time based on TV slots. They wanted Tennessee and Arkansas for the night slot. Makes sense, but I'm for it. I'm good with LSU at 1 p.m. on Saturday. I'm excited for what it's going to look like this weekend as LSU takes on West Virginia in the Super Regionals. Like I said, I went and watched on Wheel's YouTube channel last night, and I looked at some of the numbers for what West Virginia did last weekend. They win 4-3 in the 2-3 game over Kentucky, and then in the 1-0 game against Clemson, they win 9-6. And then in the final, the regional final, they win 13-12 over Kentucky, and they were down in that game 12-7 going into the 8th, I believe. In the bottom of the 8th, they score 6 runs and win that game. The one word that I use to describe West Virginia, this is just going to be a slight preview. We'll obviously get more into it as the week goes on and we get closer to this weekend. This is a scrappy baseball team. Like when you make mistakes, they capitalize on them. Those games were messy if you went and watched. The ones I watched were the 9-6 win over Clemson and the 13-12 win over Kentucky, because I wanted to see how this offense is manufacturing runs. They scored 9 runs and 13 runs in back-to-back games. How is it happening? It wasn't home runs. They're not hitting home runs. I mean, they hit one in one of the games, I believe, I think it was Salve hit a home run, just a solo shot. They only have one guy with 10-plus home runs, and it's West, one of their top hitters. He's the only player on their team with 10-plus home runs, but they have 5 batters with an over 300 batting average, and then one with a 298 right below. They have 4 base runners with 15-plus stolen base attempts, and then they have a couple of arms. The pitching wasn't anything too impressive, but they play small ball. They capitalize on mistakes was the biggest thing. They are a scrappy team. Clemson and Kentucky were walking batters. They were hitting batters. They had wild pitches. They had fielding errors. All of those things were happening. West Virginia capitalizes on those extremely well. You give them free bases, they'll hit a single. They'll hit a double in the gap. They'll find ways to manufacture runs if you make mistakes, if you give them free passes. A lot of the things that they were doing, if I remember correctly, were with 2 outs. Like if I think in that bottom of the 8th against Kentucky,
they scored 5 runs in the 8th.
They scored 5 runs in the 8th, and I believe they went 2 up, 2 down before they went on their run. And I'm about to pull up exactly how they did it, but they play scrappy, man. Like they're going to fight off pitches. They're going to get the pitch count up. If you give them something over the plate, they are going to hit it. It's not going to leave the yard.
Line drive, base hit to right
But
field.
they're going to make you
It's a
pay for your
tie game
mistakes.
here in
Looking at the
Clemson.
team stats, not only 55 home runs
Yeah.
on the season for the whole squad. But
Yeah, they don't hit the ball out.
But it's
average of almost right around 300 as a team.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't seem like they do anything flashy, but they get on base and then they.
Yeah, and they went into Clemson and they won.
Yeah.
You know, like when you look at
that has to be awful to be Clemson and have a regional at your own pad and you're not playing in the final game.
Nope.
Like, ugh.
out of there quick. Yeah, in the bottom of the 8th. So West Virginia scores 6 runs in the bottom of the 8th against Kentucky. They were down 12-7 like seemed dead. They get a leadoff single, a fly out, another single, and another fly out. So there's 2 outs, 2 on. Then there's a walk, a 4-pitch walk, then another walk. And so now you've allowed a run to get across and the bases to stay loaded. Then there's a single that scores 2. And then they advance on wild pitches. And then another single. And then another single. And then another single. And then another walk. Like, you make mistakes, you give them a chance, they're going to make you pay. They are a scrappy ball team.
Irritating to play against.
Seville. Their baseball team plays like their other sports team, pesky. That is a great word to describe them.
And this is also, all of those are all good and dandy and fun. This is the most dangerous thing about them. NIL deal. Robbie Porco?
I can come chill.
$1. I'll come chill.
That is awesome. That was their that was their starting pitcher on in Game 3 against Kentucky in that 13-12 win. He didn't stay in too long. Pitching wise, they have Kern, left-handed pitcher that's thrown how many innings? He's thrown 95 innings. He goes deep into games. That's their guy. That in game number 1, he pitched 7 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs. Only one of them earned, 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. He's got a 3.13 ERA. And then he came back to close out game 3 through an inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout to make sure they win that game. Their other guys, Carsonas, he does not get as deep into games. He threw in game number 2, I believe, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He's got a 2.94 ERA. He's only thrown 64 1/3 innings on the year, which to me kind of shows that he does not get as deep into games as Kern does. And then Bassinger is a guy that pitched in all 3 games in relief. Like, that's their go-to guy. Like, if they need somebody to come into the game real quick, that's who they went to. His stats from last weekend, like I said, he pitched in all 3 games for West Virginia. He threw 5 1/3, 13 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He's thrown 61 innings, so that means they go to him pretty consistently. So,
Kind of wild. This team seems
like, really, when you look at the numbers, and that's all you look at, you're not intimidated. That's what I did first. When I looked at the numbers, and I was like, oh, wow.
We don't do that anymore.
I'm not moved. But this is postseason baseball.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Go watch the game against Clemson and Kentucky and the other one against Kentucky. They won the games. They found ways to win.
Yeah, it's a team that baseballs you.
Like, they won 13-12, and they hit 1 home run in that game.
And it's another team that, I mean, you look at the record, it's good. They've, lost 12 games this year?
Right.
But it's also a team that you don't expect to look up and go, Clemson, Kentucky, West Virginia, in a regional. I don't think anybody's picking West Virginia to win the regional. I'm sure there were people that were. Also, get ready for an absolute meeting of the minds between West Virginia folk and Louisiana folk. Like, you might be making meth by the end of game number 1. Like, it's going to be kumbaya or it's going to be a bloodbath. Because when they came, let's see who does it better. Fight. But whenever they came in, 2011? 2010? It was Patrick Peterson ran a punt back, did the Heisman pose.
2010, I believe.
2010. West Virginia fans, bring it.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever been kicked out of Tiger Stadium.
West fucking Virginia.
Yeah, Boone County Maton call.
And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. But, yeah, I mean, and then you look at what they did in the 4th inning of that game as well. Like, they scored 6 in the 4th, 6 in the 8th.
Yeah, it's if you think Arkansas Little Rock didn't go away.
Right.
West
Like,
Virginia just played with house money. Like, that's, and LSU was the brand. It's all of the things. Like, it's another team that comes in and goes, what do we have to lose? And
it's like a mentality club.
Right. Like, they think they're going to win.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's.
Well, that's
you could be down 8-2, and they're like, give us a second.
Yeah, 12-7 going into the bottom of the 8th. Like, and they scored 6 runs to come back and take the lead. They're down
as confident as a team that you could play.
Yes, they were down 6-1 going into the bottom of the 4th inning, where they get 6 runs across. They do that by a fly out to start the game. They foul off, fly out to center field, and then a single, and then another single, then a hit by pitch.
Yep, and bases are loaded now.
And so now the bases are loaded. There's a fielder's choice, then a fielding error that allows them to score, then another single, then a hit by pitch, then another single, and then a walk, and then a ground out that scores a run, and then they intentionally walk west, and then a fly out. Like, when I tell you it was messy, like I was watching the game, I was like, okay, there's fielding errors, there's wild pitches, there's hit by pitch, there's like, don't let it get messy.
Don't let them stay alive.
Don't let them stay alive.
Will.
You give them free passes, you make mistakes.
They'll capitalize.
They will capitalize.
Thriving on chaos.
That is 100% what they are.
Also, that's what I'm saying. Like, the fan bases aren't much different than the teams. Like, the frenetic energy of both LSU and West Virginia, it's going to be a time to watch these two teams go back and forth because you can, if they're watching LSU in the game, in the last regional game against Arkansas Little Rock, it's 5-1, and then it just starts happening. You're like, bases loaded again, and at some point, like, the water's going to, like, the dam's going to bust. And it did, and then you're in Alec Box, like, this sounds like a football stadium. And I've got good belief to think that West Virginia's going to travel. But the box is going to be a place where it will be obviously chaos, but on pins and needles, living down with every pitch, and then a fan base that also thinks that West Virginia should think they can win. They've done it.
Yeah, no,
you don't hear about mistake at this point.
No, there is no team in the Super Regional that is here on accident. Like, you don't get gifted a Super Regional berth. You have to go out there and take it.
It's be one of those games where if we are up 5-1 or something in the fifth at Gulf Suites, it's not time to stop watching the game and start goofing off and celebrating because that's
and for LSU, like, that's keep your foot on the gas. Like, do not hit the brakes. Don't take your foot off and give them like an ounce of air.
I don't think old Coach Jordan's going to do that. I think he's ice up the shoulder and let's get the wheel running.
Send them home. Yeah,
but this is also West Virginia that does not – they'll take any opportunity to steal home.
I mean,
in the top of the ninth, 4-4 game.
There you go. Wow.
Like, they are looking to find ways to win. Yes. Like I said, they have 4 guys with 15-plus stolen base attempts. I did not
they're just causing chaos.
Compare that to LSU stats. Can you get LSU's numbers on that front? They have – Guzman, he went 16 for 18. King went 13 of 23. Kelly, 14 of 16. Kresser, 13 of 16.
On stolen bases?
Yes. So they had 4 guys that tried to steal, had 15-plus stolen base attempts, and they had but only 1 guy with 15-plus stolen bases. The rest of them are 13, 14, 13. They also have 2 pitchers that with 20-plus appearances that'll come out of the pen with Meyer and Estridge. The one thing I put, they are not big swingers, but they find ways.
Stolen bases for LSU, 50 of 68.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is –
But you also have a guy behind the dish and Luis Hernandez who's not going to let you run.
Right.
And then if it's Aaron Beatty, also not going to let you run.
Right.
Like, probably one of the strongest arms that you'll ever see, and a freshman or just around the country. That's kind of why he was as highly touted as he was. He could swing it too, but I don't expect – to see Aaron Beatty unless it's a pinch hit situation, what have you, wherever you have to move some pieces around like Jay tends to do.
Yeah.
But I trust Luis back there, and Mikey put out a great tweet yesterday about y'all are forgetting everything he's done. Like, the offense is lanyap, but he's a dog back there. And we were saying it during the stream, like, battered, bruised, takes one off the collarbone, takes a 20-second timeout. It's like, I'm good. Like, you good?
That's right.
You don't even have to check with me, dude. Like, go back in the dugout. Poppy's good.
I'm gonna hit another jack.
Yeah, and then he hits 2 homers. Like the offense, it shows up in spurts, but it's also not the reason that you really are, I guess, giving Luis his flowers. It's like everything else he does. Catcher.com.
He's a warrior, absolute warrior. But it's an interesting comparison of 2 different styles. Like, the way West Virginia was able to win last weekend was capitalizing on mistakes. The one thing LSU has been known for a lot this season is outside of walks, like, they don't make fielding errors. Defensively, they keep it pretty clean. They keep it in front. And with Anderson and Einson, they don't walk all that much. So if LSU can keep their mistakes down, that gives you a chance against a team like West Virginia who's just trying to stay alive and be scrappy. So it'll be exciting to watch. And like I said, we will get further into the discussion, the preview this week as it rolls on and we get closer to game time as LSU and West Virginia face off 1 p.m. on Saturday, 5 p.m. on Sunday. We will be live from Golf Suites, like we said, with that game. Don't forget, we're brought to you every day by All About Inflatables, some of the chat's favorite sponsors. As All About Inflatables brings you jump houses, water slides, the whole deal. Great stuff, and it is water slide season. I'd spent one summer helping my guy Gabe get the business off the ground, helping him get water slides and stuff out there, this is the time to do it. Get a water slide. They've got 22 footers. He's got 20 footers, 18, 16, all ages. Have some fun. Get a water slide. Stay cool in the hot Louisiana heat. Call them at 225-667-2386 or go to allaboutinflatablesds.com and take a look through all of the rentals he has, and you can also book online as well.
When are we doing a 7 a.m. from a bounce house?
That's what I'm saying.
I talked to All About Inflatables and CAS, was like, can we do a show from a bounce house and on a roof? And we'll see if we can make that happen. So don't forget, we're brought to you by All About Inflatables. Shout out to Gabe Patterson and the rest of his team. A lot of his guys that go out and put the slides out are high school football players and high school athletes. So while you are supporting All About Inflatables, you're supporting high school athletes who are out there grinding, working over the summer to make some extra cash. And make sure you let them know you heard about him from Tingle & Co. We will be right back as we are rolling through hour number 1. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
And Jacques Duceay at 8:15.
We'll have JD at 8:15.
And Nick Underhill at 8:45.
Nick Underhill 8:45. So we'll be right back to set up hour number 2 and to have our Wednesday regulars right after this.
I went down there to check on him, just to kind of gauge where he was at. He didn't even need to say anything. As soon as he looked at me, I'm like, all right, we're good. And it just out of curiosity, I kind of looked at him and goes, I got it, I'm ready. And one of the bullpen catchers looked over at me like, it's there tonight. So, and they, they fought him. They battled him a little bit, but boy, he was sharp there at the end, and certainly glad that he's a Tiger. I went down there to check on him.
All right, we are back here. Quick break. Hour number 2 underway this morning. We will have Jacques Duceay, the sports director of WAFB 9, join us at 8:15 in just about 8 minutes to talk about regional weekend, look ahead to super regional weekend, and also he can talk about Leonard Fournette's youth camp that he visited yesterday. Shout out to JD and their work over at WFB, including John Eads, who's now bringing a camera to take pictures with it. At games.
Oh.
So, like, he's getting the news content with his broadcast camera. He's also taking flicks as well as the hardest working man.
I was probably saying he just added something more to his plate that he was probably like, it'd be cool. And they're like, if you want to, and then he's going to regret it. But
he's doing it now, and it looks great.
Yeah.
And he's putting them out on social media. He's doing a really good job. WFB is crushing it, as always. We will talk to JD in just a little while. Interesting point in the chat by Hunter Hall. He asked the question, what is the opposite of 2 claps?
Two pumps.
2 pumps.
Guess they go hand in hand.
2
Nice.
sobs.
2 sobs.
Yeah.
2 cries.
And then we'll
cries.
have, let's see what else we got. Hunter Hall, 2 laughs where Trey-Dez laughs at you. That Trey-Dez laugh is going to live on
Forever.
like watch parties, Trey-Dez Green touchdown, it'll just be his laugh on repeat after he scores. So, yeah, I don't know. We got to figure out what it would be, the opposite of 2 claps,
2
because
2 snaps. 2 rants.
2 rants. So just rant about something random.
We just call Rundy rants twice.
Nice. That would be
Back to back,
awesome.
he doesn't answer either.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
Be great radio.
Sabrion Green, boys, I shouldn't have drank that coffee this morning. Yikes.
No.
Yikes. We'll have JD join us in just a little while. Charlie Oliver says 2 slaps.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we need Christian for. You can slap Christian
Yeah.
in
I
the
was
face
about
a
to
couple
say, or
times.
2 handholds.
A whipping
2
boy.
handholds with Justin. As Justin is struggling with the handholds, he does not know quite how to handle it.
Quite a reaction that's gotten.
Yeah, it's funny. Well,
From,
I guess for me, when I put the video out yesterday of us reacting to Jared Jones' home run at the watch party, and I guess the hand holding just didn't really catch my eye because I was there, and I just it was normal at that point because it had already been 4 hours of it happening. A lot of the reaction on social media has been, why are those 2 fellas in the front holding hands?
See, and I got because my friends are like I am. Like, whenever you watch a game, whatever works, you keep doing it. And they're like, I started holding hands because you were holding hands because whenever it gets to these pressure.
I wouldn't have thought twice about it.
I've never thought about it again, and it's been dominating my life for the last 72 hours. It's like, I didn't think about this once. And now apparently it's quite the sight.
Quite the sight.
To have on social, and then Justin Babin Jr. is now struggling with his sexuality.
No, not that far. But he does hate the fact that it happened. He texted yesterday morning,
It's a big moment, though.
early, at it was yesterday afternoon, 1:04. I still can't believe I held Lloyd's hand for over 3 hours, bro. One of the weirdest things I've ever done. Nobody said anything before that. He just texted in the Tingle & Co. group chat, sent that thing in
Oh, he
there.
was thinking about it by himself.
And Andre said, I saw that, didn't question it once. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There we go.
It was hilarious. I told you I would do it for one game only because I did not want LSU to endure one of the worst losses I can ever remember.
So you might have to do it again.
And then Trevor said, if we lose in the Supers, it's your fault.
Yeah,
So,
no, he'll hold my goddamn hand. Hold my hand. I'm going to shake your hand.
It was
That's sporty little
hilarious.
paw.
It
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Stronger than he looks.
It was pretty funny. LSU football has been working this offseason on the recruiting front, trying to get some top players. Obviously, they had Bo Bentley on campus, Calvin Russell on campus, Emmanuel, the top 5-star offensive tackle on campus. It was a really good weekend. They currently have the number 2 recruiting class in 2026. Do you expect, Lloyd, them to, now that they this will just be a quick question answer before we have JD join us, what they did in this transfer portal last year, right, and the NIL money that was raised and done to make that happen, do you expect that to be a consistent transfer portal kind of mindset, or to kind of level back out, get back towards the high school recruiting classes and maybe put some of those resources on that front more than they do portal?
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Got it. No worries. Because in my opinion, I would assume that the transfer portal mindset and the way they went out there this past offseason was purely out of necessity, and it was something they had circled and slated as, okay, we're going to lose these guys. We're going to need this. We need to go out there and get top-level talent. And they did that. And now that they have that, you have the recruiting classes that you've built up over the last couple of years to kind of support what's next. I think that the mindset will go back towards high school recruiting to build up the future.
You don't think it's
after this
contingent
season.
on this year? Like, if it works, and you've seen what LSU has the propensity to spend money all of a sudden, like they tried the high school recruiting, and you see the way that high school recruiting's like bearing out right now when you have
Right.
guys that are committed that are saying, well, it'll come down to after my Alabama visit.
Right.
And it's, brother, you're committed or you ain't. And a lot of people are being like, I don't follow recruiting because of this. Like, you can't put any salt in it or have any expectation of what a commitment means, because
Right.
you turn around 2 weeks later, it's like, I'm going to Alabama, and actually my decision day is on July the 4th.
And then there's a 30% chance once they get on campus that they transfer.
Yeah,
out
they
anyway.
leave.
so you can get hyped about guys and then.
And it's almost become be the buyer in the market and let obviously you want to recruit Louisiana, you want to sell the product and the brand and all of the things that LSU has done for the last 20 years and why people commit to LSU, but you also have to have the ability to sell that later.
Yeah. No, I mean, David Reed says in the chat, depends on the results, return on investment.
Yeah, it's a money game now. Like you can't ignore it. It's not like there's no world in which you go, oh, he came to LSU because he loves it. Like, you can't really say that anymore. Like, that's a part of the meal, but that ain't the entree. Like, you have to be able to – you got to pay for it. And that's just what it is now. And it's good to see LSU change their mindset of it because it's – if you didn't, you don't add 18 players in the portal. You don't have Monsieur Delane.
Well, and the reason you needed it was because when you look back, the class that would have been juniors this season, like, you had your 2022 class with Perkins and Campbell and those guys. The class that would have been juniors this upcoming season was that 2023 class that is all gone. Like, when you look at truly what that class consisted of, Lance Hurd gone, Deshaun Womack gone, DJ Chester still here, Toviano's still here, Jalen Brown gone, Whitweek's here, Pimpton gone, Howard gone, Shelton Sampson gone, Caleb Jackson here, Kylan Jackson gone, Ricky Collins gone, Ryan Yates gone, Tyree Adams here, Braithwaite gone, Kai Prien gone, Mac Markway gone, Kyle Parker and Ashton Samps here, Paul Mabanga here, Dylan Carpenter here, Trey Holly figuring that out, Jeremiah Hughes gone, Michael Doherty gone, Connor Gilbert gone. So, like, you lost so much of that 23 class. That's why you had to go out in the transfer and be like, okay, we have no upperclassmen. Like, our roster consists of a couple guys from that class, a couple guys from the prior class, and then true freshmen and redshirt freshmen. So you had to go out there and do it. So I agree. I mean, I think that their hope will probably be shift back towards high school, but it really does depend on the ROA, like David Reed said. We have made it to 8:15 this morning, and we have the man himself, Jacques Duceay, the sports director from WFB9, joining us to talk Tigers this morning. JD, how are you?
Good morning, Noah. Is this the new look, the new presentation, the new branding?
This is the new look. It's the new everything over here. We appreciate you joining us.
No problem, man. Congratulations on your new venture, and wish all you guys the best of success moving forward.
Thank you very much. So to get it started, we'll talk about yesterday. You went to Leonard Fournette's youth camp that he held in Central at their high school football field. What was that like? What was it like to see Lenny's daughter, who we all remember as a infant, and now she's a 10-year-old and making us all feel extremely old? Talk about that yesterday.
Yeah, it's a case of time just keeps going by faster each year that moves forward. It's been 10 years since Leonard Fournette delivered the greatest statistical season in LSU history. 2015, he rushed for almost 2,000 yards that year. We know that it was a disappointing finish for LSU. They started 7-0 that year, went to Alabama, the big showdown, and LSU's offensive game plan and what they brought to the table was not going to beat Alabama that night, and it was a rough day. And Leonard kind of went from being the front runner to win the Heisman to not even getting invited to New York. I don't think that was really his fault, so to speak. I mean, they were giving him the ball so many times, and he just wore out. But to see him yesterday, obviously his daughter Lyric, we remember her as an infant. Now she's 10 years old, turning into a young lady, and it was a very well-attended football camp. There were a lot of kids out there seeing Fornette. He was instructing and doing some great things with them. Of course, you're connected pretty well with Central. I think that was a huge compliment to them after winning their first state title in, almost 60 years or whatnot, that he would bring the camp there. David Semino, the head coach of Central, was out there as well, and had a chance to talk to him about several things. He hasn't played in the NFL since 2023. He says he gets up and exercise or works out and keeps himself in shape at 5:30 every morning, and he's looking for a new team. He seems to feel like something's going to happen in the near future. I did ask him as a local sports guy, almost, it's obligated to ask him, hey, are you interested in being with the Saints? And he said some nice things. I think what I gathered maybe off camera is that the Saints wouldn't be a favorite for him to land at. And I'm not sure he would fit their needs anyway with what they have. So but we'll see what happens with him in the next month or two if he joins another team or not. It just seems like oftentimes when you fall out of the league for a while, it's hard to get back in. That blink of an eye difference in your speed can be 5 miles. It seems like when you get out there and try to play again in the NFL.
And then on the LSU baseball front, obviously there were shades of Stony Brook and Coastal Carolina popping up in the back of people's minds as they faced off with Little Rock, who was probably one of the hottest teams ever at this point in the year this past weekend. The Alec Box was absolutely rocking. It looked like a great environment. What were some of your takeaways from this past weekend?
Well, what I thought about was Southern Miss and Jay Johnson's first year when they went over there in 2022. Larger games than the first two LSU won here. I mean, it was, LSU looked like they're cruising along to perhaps their easiest NCAA regional ever, and then things take a wild left turn on Sunday night, a car crash, and get beat 10-4. 22, LSU was cruising along after their first two games, lost 2 in a row to Southern Miss and didn't advance. And then I remember, I think it was 2014, perhaps, pretty similar at Palminary's time. LSU won their first 2 games, and then Houston beat them twice, including a Monday night. So it was not looking good, certainly on Monday night. It fell behind 5-1 after the Sunday night debacle. And, I don't want to be melodramatic and overspeak, but that would have been a disaster to LSU's resource condition and expectations to get beat at home by Little Rock, a team that came into the NCAA tournament with a RPI of 243 or whatever it was. Certainly they got hot and started believing in themselves, but it was almost like, well, baseball is trying to one-up softball. Softball got beat by Southeastern twice at home, but at least that was a team that won 50 games and was a really good team. Little Rock did not look that way all during the year. So, but now, it sets up that this could, as crazy as it may sound, the super regional might be easier than the regional, because if you go out and do what you did this past weekend, and Cade Anderson and Anthony Heinsohn go out there and strike out 10 to 15 guys, and you win 2 games, that's it, we're done, moving on to Omaha. And so you could play just 2 games and be done, as opposed to this past weekend when you had to play 4 games before you advance.
The performance from Casan Evans was one to remember this past weekend. The true freshman came in early in the game, probably earlier than many expected, and then threw 109 pitches. I think that was 24 more than he had his high earlier in the year, and had 12 strikeouts. Talk about that performance from the freshman and past performances from young guys in LSU history that may or may not have may have reminded you of.
Well, I think it was a season-saving performance. Little Rock was scoring early and often. LSU looked a bit discombobulated. Certainly on defense, they couldn't turn a couple of plays. The ball's bouncing all over the place on the infield, and the crowd is not a factor. A lot of moaning and groaning going on. Hey, is this going to happen? And Casan Evans comes in and fires 6 innings, allows only 1 run, strikes out 12. A stretch of 8 consecutive strikeouts. Nate Yeske gave some great sound after the game, saying Cade Anderson is saying, hey, coach, that's 5 in a row, that's 6 in a row, that's 7 in a row, that's 8 in a row. He's like, yeah, I got the pitching chart too. I'm keeping track. But that's the kind of stuff that you need in the postseason. You need heroes to emerge. Certainly, it was much deeper in the tournament, and the stakes were much higher, or maybe the stakes weren't higher. You're saving a season. But, I think Nate Ackenhausen had never started a game in his career. LSU's in the losers bracket in Omaha, and he goes out there and fires, I think it was 6 innings, and keeps LSU alive. So Will Helmers was referenced several times after the game for his performance last year, although LSU wasn't able to get out of that regional in North Carolina. But yeah, it was, and it's a mutual thing when a pitcher gets on a roll like that, and then the Alex Box Stadium crowd comes to life. The pitcher's feeding off the crowd's feeding off the pitcher. And I think Yesky said that as well. This is why you play at home. You do not want to, I mean, this is a lot of people talk about their parks, and we got a great park and great atmosphere, the best in the country. He says, I've been everywhere, and nothing comes close to Alex Box Stadium and postseason Alex Box magic. And certainly it was on display, and hopefully it'll be on display again this weekend. As long as lightning doesn't strike in Lafayette or New Orleans, we'll get that game underway at 1 o'clock on Saturday.
JD, so I was talking with Mikey before the series wrapped up against, I guess the regional wrapped up against Arkansas Little Rock, and he posed that it would be the worst loss in LSU baseball history in the postseason. Is that, you obviously have the history, you know LSU baseball, you've been around it. Is that something that is actually would have been I guess it obviously would have been a stain on Jay Johnson's record, but is that something that you agree with, that an Arkansas Little Rock loss at home in a regional would have been the worst loss in LSU baseball history?
I think it would be the worst, certainly in the last, I mean, I don't know how long. Before Skip Bertman got to LSU, there are no really expectations.
Right.
So I can't say a loss before that would be the worst in LSU history. Stony Brook gets referenced, and that was a super regional. That was not a regional. And certainly people hear Stony Brook and think Sisters of the Poor, but that team, I looked it up last night. They had a number of guys drafted off that team. They had a first rounder, they had a third rounder, a fifth and seventh. And so, still, it's funny, I looked it up. Their stadium has a capacity of 1,000, Stony Brook. So, when they come in and they beat you in Alex Box Stadium, that was definitely a shocker. I think LSU won the first game and then lost 2 after that. And then, Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers with the teal rooster there, they went on to win the national title in 2016, and that was a super regional. So as embarrassing as that felt at the time, you can reflect on it and maybe understand it a little bit. Maybe you can't. I know that a lot of people think it's a felony for LSU baseball to lose a super regional at home, and it happened 3 times with Camaraderie. Florida State came in and did it in 2019. But yeah, if you're LSU and you've got the resources you've got, and I was at the bus the other day, the team's getting on the bus, there's a guy out there from the local car dealership, all the guys are going up to him talking about the cars they've got and the radios in them and all the sweet NIL stuff they've got and all that, and some little team from Little Rock who's probably got an NIL budget of 0 comes in and beats you twice with an RPI of 243 when your goal is to make it to Omaha at least win the national championship. I can listen to the argument that would be the worst loss LSU's had in the last, since 1984 or whatever. I'd have to think about it again, but off the top of my head, feels pretty bad.
And turning the page a little bit, can we get an update on the Broadmoor Bear?
Well, it was funny. That wasn't really my story, but I'm seeing this online on Friday morning that there's a bear moving around Baton Rouge, and apparently he was in Central. NOLA can maybe tell me if that's the same bear or not, but he's up in a tree on Friday, and so the joke started to be that Bear Jones was going to hit 5 home runs in the regional. We know that didn't happen, but finally the bear came out of the tree on Monday night and hit the 2-run homer in the top of the ninth to buy LSU some valuable insurance to get past Little Rock. But I think that I read that they tranquilized him and they were going to put him back out in the wild. So that led me down a rabbit hole of watching bear videos online and people interacting with bears. And are bears really dangerous? I mean, are they nice or are they friendly? What's the deal with the bear? I guess it's like any other animal, like a tiger, for example. I've had people tell me, "Oh, Mike the tiger, he's not an apex predator. He's a sweet tiger. He wouldn't attack anybody." And then, ask the guys with Siegfried and Roy how that went for them. You're a little too trusting of the of animals in the wild. But hopefully the bear is, having a nice morning out in the woods somewhere, doing something that bears do in the woods.
Jacques, I will contend, we're both cat guys. I do think I could get in the cage with Mike the Tiger.
It
Nothing would happen.
You with that quote sounded
It's
exactly
me. I think
like
you just
Lloyd,
have heard me
JD.
say it a bunch of times because I see he doesn't seem now the Mike 5 was dangerous. Mike 7 seems a little bit more cuddly. Like I'm not getting there with Shere Khan.
What about Omar?
Omar is dead right now. Like it's still asleep. He's had the same drugs this bear's on.
Well, I have a cat because of the fact that I'm never at home, and dogs, I love dogs, but they're just needy, and you can't leave them by themselves for, all that long during the day. But it's funny, Dr. Dave Baker, the guy that used to take care of Mike, he would tell me about the emails he would get from LSU fans and their suggestions on what to do, and a lot of it was pretty comical. Like when he wouldn't get in the cage, right, to go to Tiger Stadium. Like they left it up to him. If the Tiger gets in his cage, we'll bring him into Tiger Stadium. If he doesn't, then we won't. And there were suggestions about a cattle prod, electrically shocking him to get into the cage and different things like that. So, my dad says that damn Tiger has one responsibility, and it's to get in that stadium. So
you can't make a cat do anything it doesn't want to do.
Yeah, I mean that we have a generation, and certainly I understand it. That was a big tradition. Tiger is in the stadium, and then they used to incite him to make him roar, and then they stopped doing that, and they would just play a recording of him roaring, and then they bring him around the stadium. I don't know. They would say that look, the Tiger. He is not meant to be stared at by 100,000 people. They're used to being in the wild. They're used to being, by themselves. I joke that the Tiger is like a lot of men that walk the face of the earth. They said that the Tiger would mate, and then he would just leave the female Tiger and take off, and that was it. So
hey, Bob.
Tiger wasn't in the relationship. So.
But if you want to, that's the perfect, I guess, encapsulation of LSU fans where they think that they have an opinion to a doctor about a Tiger and how to do it. Like, tell Jay Johnson how to do his job, tell Nick Saban how to do his job, tell Ed Orgeron how to do his job, tell a doctor that is taking care of a Tiger, like, this is what you should do.
Well, hey, look, fans are paying more money than ever these days, and so I have no problem with them voicing their opinions and whatnot. I remember a post-game call to Gordy, and I don't know if they were trolling or if they were being serious. The guy goes, Gordy, why doesn't LSU do like Colorado does with the Tiger and let him run out onto the field? And I think Gordy said something like, yeah, that could be bad. Come back, Mike. The apex predator up in the stands. And but I did see those comments on Facebook. Oh, he's sweet. He's not an apex predator. He wouldn't attack anybody. Like, yeah, well, you blink and it's over. So,
Fair enough.
Don't tap the glass.
Talk about the.
Yeah, it was funny because there's two. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You keep going.
Yeah.
You keep going.
No, it was one time. There were two layers of security. There's when you walk up and go see the Tiger on campus, there's a netting or something, and then there's the wall on the inside. Well, he took me to the wall on the inside, and we were talking about the Tiger, and before you could think or blink, the Tiger just leaped up on the glass and scared the bejesus out of me. Even though I knew that there was glass there and I wasn't going to get hurt, it was like, holy cow. I mean, he is a beautiful, majestic animal. I mean, the Tiger is very, very cool. And, they are not house cats, as the doctor would say. Now, he could get in there, and the Tiger, they would call it chuffing. They don't call it purring like a cat. He would purr, they call it chuffing, and he would just come up to his caretaker and rub his head on him and all that. But I think people like us, we might want to be careful. What was the guy, Tiger King? That guy who's just rolling around with him, and they're grabbing him by the foot and dragging him around the yard and stuff. That's probably not suggested.
Yeah, not the smartest. Talk about the fan base matchup this weekend in the Super Regionals, as it's LSU versus West Virginia. I'm assuming the West Virginia fans will travel pretty well, and it should be fun between the LSU fans and the West Virginia fans.
Well, I was joking with Kelly Zen, who's Scott Woodward's right-hand lady now, who took Stephanie Rep's place. You know, she went to school there and worked there for a long time, so I call it the Kelly Zen Regional, LSU in West Virginia. But, you know, I was looking at West Virginia, and they really struggled, like, down the stretch. I think they lost, like, 5 of 7 or something, and then they win the regional and get hot. But, yeah, I guess they'll be bringing a lot of fans. If you're a West Virginia baseball fan and your team's playing at LSU, which is the cathedral of college baseball and Box Stadium and all the tradition, that this might be a bucket list type deal where you try to go. Now, I don't know how many tickets are going to be available to them after the LSU fans gobble them all up. But, you know, I just have, I don't know, John Eads has done an amazing job covering the team. My coverage of the team has been more highlight driven and so forth. But I just have a feeling this might be a wipeout, that it might be a case of, you know, you struggle out of the gate a bit. I mean, I remember the 2023 LSU team, they didn't lose any games in the regional, but navigating that Oregon State thing, I think that's who they had to beat, Oregon State, was tricky. And then the Kentucky thing was a wipeout. And so I think this might be something similar to that. We talked about 2009. LSU was losing to Southern 2-0 in the 7th inning, the first game out. So we'll see. Yeah, I'd like to see a lot of those fans come down. We always talk about 2011 when LSU football went up there, and it was like they're bring back the Magic game, and they were hosting LSU, who was #1 in the country. They had ESPN College Game Day there and whatnot. And Tyrann Mathieu made like 2 amazing plays in the first 5 minutes of the game. And I think Morris Claiborne ran back a kickoff in the second half, and LSU blew them out. But Darren DeQuano, our videographer, said that was the most foul-mouthed student section he had ever heard. He just said it was 3 hours straight of F-bombs and F-you and just everything from that student section, which, I don't know, maybe or maybe not I expected, but certainly we would remember that trip to Morgantown. It was not easy to get to. If you were drinking and driving up there, you may certainly die because there were roads but no shoulder that would just drop off a cliff. And we didn't have a whole lot of great food up there during our trip. But hopefully those people come down here and have a great time without winning the Super Bowl.
They are aggressive. That's the only game I've ever been kicked out of Tiger Stadium, and I've had my fair share of moments where it could have happened. But it was the Patrick Peterson runs the punt back, does the Heisman, and there was 4 West Virginia fans in front of us that took one of my buddy's hats and threw it down the stadium, and it was an all-out brawl. They're kindred spirits, us in West Virginia. It's cousins that don't get along well, but you have to see each other.
Well, that's funny. And then, looping back to Fornette, you talk about Peterson striking the Heisman. I told him, I said, you remember when you scored your first LSU touchdown against Sam Houston State and you broke into the Heisman, and that was like, oh my God, he just broke a Heisman pose as a true freshman scoring against Sam Houston State, and I think he had to apologize to the team and all that. But if you go to Tiger Stadium these days, they play that clip on their highlights up on the video board, Leonard Fournette striking the Heisman pose. So you never know. Things in the moment can have a much different meaning, years down the line.
Well, JD, we appreciate your time. What do y'all have going on over at WAFB?
Well, speaking of Mikey Matuk, he's supposed to come in with Ryan Schimpf for a Jacques talk this morning that we're going to shoot and hopefully get up by the end of the afternoon. The Saints have their final OTA tomorrow before minicamp next week. We'll be attending that. John Eads will certainly have all our coverage from the baseball super regional. I guess their media day and everything will be Friday, leading into Saturday and Sunday, and hopefully not Monday, but we'll see. And just 7-on-7 high school football is starting up today. There's teams all over Baton Rouge, or whether it's at Elite Academy or Walker High School or whatever, that are already starting to do their 7-on-7. So the cycle is beginning again here in early June towards football season 2025. So those are just a few things that we got going on. As far as Red Rock and Blue goes, real quick, we're off to a really fast start on ticket sales for the Caterey Reunion 3 at the Texas Club on August the 9th. Tables are going fast. Tickets are moving already out of the gate. So if you want to reserve your table, be sure to go to the Texas Club website and get your table. And then we're starting to get our softball teams that are registering for the slow pitch softball tournament at Rex Oak Villa at the end of July. So be sure to get your team signed up, gather up your team, and be part of that, as well as we give back to local Louisiana military charities here, and give back to the men and women that serve our country and their families as well. So redrockandblue.com.
Well, JD, like I said, we appreciate your time every single week, and we'll talk again soon.
You know, that's what makes this show amazing. I had no intent of talking about Mike the Tiger, the mascot this morning, or any of that stuff, but, you know, that's what makes this show amazing. You don't know what avenue we're going to take. So thanks for having me on.
Yep,
Appreciate you, JD. Thank you. Ride the roller coaster.
There he is, Jacques Duceay, the sports director over at WAFB. Great stuff. And he's completely right. I didn't realize we were going to get on a discussion about Mike the Tiger and cattle prods and finding a way to get him into the stadium, but that's just what happens sometimes. Don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by CAS Roofing and Advising, based out of Central Louisiana, just like All About Inflatables and like the Leonard Fournette camp yesterday. The C-Town is on the rise as CAS Roofing and Advising. They do great work over there. Pierce, the rest of their team, have been absolutely crushing it, and we appreciate their support. Make sure you get over to their website, look at their Facebook page. Their Facebook page has been great. They've been getting out some videos posted lately where they've been showing off some of their expertise in roofing. Make sure you call Pierce at 225-910-0619 or email him pierce@casroofer.com. To get your roof inspected soon. Tell them you heard it from Tingle & Co. As we roll on this morning, we will have Nick Underhill in about 5 minutes join us to talk about the Saints as Derek Carr has officially retired. OTAs are wrapping up, and football season's just getting closer inch by inch. It's crazy when you really sit back and you think about it, that in about 2.5 months, 2 months, 3 weeks, we'll be watching LSU versus Clemson in week 1. And like we said in the headlines this morning, Clemson was ranked by Pro Football Focus to have the number 1 defensive line in the country going into next season. I believe they were also in the top 5 on the wide receiver front. It is going to be, as the time gets closer and the more excited we get about it, the more you realize that this is an absolutely massive matchup between two teams with the highest of expectations going into 2025. I believe Texas and Ohio State play as well. That is the only game that can kind of match what LSU and Clemson are in week number 1. We talked about the past season openers for LSU, the Florida State game in 23, and what that kind of was. The expectations for that game are not what it is for August 30th. This is going to be an absolute behemoth of a football game, and we've got some really exciting things in the works for what it'll look like for Tingle & Co. come August 30th as LSU and Clemson face off in what should be a top 10 matchup between two of the best teams, best rosters going into 2025. So we appreciate you guys this morning as we will take a quick break, come back, and we'll have Nick Underhill talking Saints right after this.
Fournette had the greatest statistical season for an LSU running back ever nearly 2,000 yards on the ground. Now, Fournette only played 2.5 years basically, but was still looking to become LSU's all-time leading rusher.
I wish I would have broken Kevin Falk's record for the most yards in LSU, but things happen for a reason. I think I'm tied, or I might be fourth, but I still hold a couple of records, but I always tell K Falk that's the record I wanted, but things happen for a reason.
2015.
Yeah.
About as good as you've ever been, or just how do you reflect on that year?
It was God's work, you know what I'm saying? But I believe I wouldn't have gotten hurt in that 16 season. I would have broke it. I would have probably broke the record for sure.
We still talk about this. How did Leonard Fournette get hurt in fall camp in 2016? How does that happen?
Well, I had the funny thing is I had one play. I was supposed to practice one play, and when I lined back, actually it was my roommate down in Alexandria. He just tackled me funny. I landed on my ankle, and that was all. But I still try to play on it, despite of the injury, because you want to be out there with your brothers battling. That's what it's all about.
Brandon Harris told me that you used to say, please change the play in the huddle at Alabama. They know we're running it. Please change the play. I can't.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's true. That's true. At that time, I think 2015 we was 7-0, and we had a chance to be probably one of the best teams. And, we had an old style coaching, downhill, running the ball, and that was about it, man. Just trying to win, give us better looks, give more guys the opportunity to showcase their skills. So that's about it.
All right, welcome back here as we are closing out today's show, hour number 2. We're inching closer to 9 a.m. We will have Nick Underhill join us in just a second to talk Saints and close it out this morning. Like we said, as the news came out yesterday, Derek Carr officially retired, and Kool-Aid McKinstry snagged that number 4 about as quick as he possibly could.
What number was he?
14.
Kool-Aid was?
Uh-huh. He had another number going into
it was like 43.
It was something that I was like, they got to get him out of that number because he's too good to be wearing that, and he's going to be an important part of the team. Now he's got the number 4 from what I saw yesterday. So we've got Nick Underhill from New Orleans Football joining us this morning to talk Saints. Nick, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Coach, looks great over there.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time out to join us here like you do every single Wednesday. The Saints are wrapping up OTAs, getting ready as the offseason rolls on. What is the current state of the New Orleans Saints as we are it's June 4th after June 1st, and what's next for New Orleans?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of, right now very much up in the air. Still got the good transitions. I see you on the keys over there, Lloyd. But yeah, man,
make sure that made it over.
I think it's still kind of up in the air. I think it's optimistic right now, but I would probably add some caution to some of the optimism I'm seeing in the fan base. I think we're still finding out about these quarterbacks and what they can do, but to this point, I think Tyler Shuck has looked pretty promising so far, just based on what we've seen. And even more so than that, they had a practice on Friday behind closed doors, and I was hearing a lot of hype from players, people that were out there, just about how good Chuck looked in that red zone period. So he's doing things to get people excited, very early in the process. But again, he's a rookie. There's going to be ups and downs. He's a second-round pick. Second-round picks usually don't make it in the NFL. So I think there needs to be a lot of caution with any optimism. But I think there are reasons to be a little bit excited right now. And given where the team's at and what they're coming off of, a little bit of excitement, even if it ends up being false hope or whatever, I think it's needed. I think it's needed for this team right now.
How soon do you expect the quarterback decision to be made, for it to be announced, kind of the direction they're going? Obviously, the thought is it's Shuck's job, but Spencer Rattler is still there. There's probably a strong contingency of the fan base that is still supporting the Rattler QB1 thought process. When do you expect a decision to be made and announced? And on your front, when would you – what do you think would be best for the Saints to do on that standpoint?
Yeah, I think it's a fascinating question. Right now I think Spencer Rattler looks pretty good. He looks like someone that's made a good amount of growth from year one to year two. Things are happening really fast for him, and that's the big separator between the two guys right now. Is I think things are happening quickly for Rattler. He's seeing things quickly. The ball's coming out quicker. He feels on rhythm. He looks a little bit more confident, and I think where Jacques at right now, you see the talent, and I think his raw talent is probably the best they've had in this building since, as far as these young guys go. I think his raw talent's higher than any of them, and it's why he was drafted so high and way before any of the other ones. But I think the thing for Jacques right now is that processing, and it does take a little bit longer. And he does look like a guy that's, had 9 NFL practices. He looks like somebody that's still kind of figuring things out and figuring out the timing and how Rashid Shaheed cuts and, just all that stuff, I think slows it down a little bit. And I think at some point in camp, that's all going to click. And when it clicks and everything comes together, I think maybe that's when the separation would start to take place between him and Rattler. And, Jake Haener, too, is also part of that. As far as when they'll make the call, I think it's just going to be when they see it and they know. I think the battle's probably going to play out for a little bit. I personally think the best thing for them would be to make a call early, but it has to be the right time. But I don't want them to just say, well, look, we owe it to Spencer Rattler. We owe it to Jake Haener. We owe it to everyone, to keep playing this out and let it go through the preseason and then make a decision before week one. No, I think you try to make a decision as quickly as possible. And if it is Tyler Shuck, I think you just believe in whatever led you to draft him. Whatever made you say, hey, this is the guy. We think he's better than Rattler. He's worth the 40th pick. We're going to invest in it. I think you do that because you look back at last year's training camp, Derek Carr threw 267 passes in 11 on 11 periods in those practices. If you're splitting that, you're down to 130. Now, in that 267, he threw 58 or 59 passes to Chris Olave. You're splitting that, you're down to 30. Rashid Shaheed missed time last year. He had 18 passes from Derek Carr. You split that in half, you're down to 9. There's just a lot of stuff where if you are splitting these reps just for the sake of splitting them, even if there's something inside of you saying, hey, look, we know that Tyler Shuck's the guy, but we're going to let it go all 3 preseason games. I think you're hindering your ability to develop players with the starters, like him throwing passes to these guys. Now, you could rotate Olave in some reps with the second team like they did that last year. But look, I think as soon as just lean into it. But also you can't force the decision either. The timing has to be right. And it could be similarly detrimental to Shuck if you put him out there in week one and he's not ready and you're just like, well, we're going to do it. And he just plays terribly. And now all of a sudden you're reinforcing the pocket skittishness and all that stuff. You just need to make sure that the timing is right. But once it's there, don't be afraid to lean into it.
Continue on the quarterback front real quick. Obviously, Adam Schefter comes out with a post in May 22nd that Jake Haener was injured. Now you have a 3-quarterback room, all of which are not very experienced. Do you see them making a move with Haener to maybe add a veteran quarterback? Is that, as much as I love the pictures, is the Haener experiment over?
I don't think it is. I think they're riding it out, and I think Jake Haener has qualities that are going to be really good behind the scenes, and I don't think they're interested in having a veteran come in here, win a job, anything like that. I think it's ride or die with these guys. Find out what you have. If you have something, you have something. If you don't have something, you're drafting Garrett Nussmeier, Klubnik, Sellers, whoever next year in the top 5, whoever the guys are. So I think it's really more about that at this point. And I talked to Haener last week and just kind of reminded of how he just talks like a coach. He just sees the game really well. I think he's a really smart player. And I think he has some qualities that I think you might be looking for in someone else that he already has in that room. Now, granted, it doesn't come with the experience or anything like that, but I think he's somebody that probably has a future in coaching, honestly. I think he's someone that can take information, digest it, and repeat it in a way that's extremely understandable and relatable. And I think that's a good trait to have in there. His mom does what we do. He grew up in a house where communication was a big thing. And you kind of see that in him. So I think he probably has some of those traits that can help with some of that stuff. I still would like to have that older veteran presence in the room, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to go with what they got.
And you continue to see, obviously, the quarterback's going to be a point of emphasis here, but you saw Shuck I saw your article about Archie Manning. How deep are these Louisiana ties going? Was this written in the stars for him to just come to New Orleans? He worked at the academy that the Mannings put on in Thibodeau, and then you see like the article and who he worked with. How did that all come about, and was this something that was it felt like kind of manifested?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like the QB coach was like not a good, he's a transition to quarterback. Like the Mannings put him on to quarterback coaching. He ends up coaching Chuck ends up here, and then Chuck's at the Manning Academy and all that stuff. Now, if this was like something that was written in the stars, though, like this is Act 1 is college, Act 2, like you're still, things are building up, and then at the end of Act 2, there's the disappointment, and then in Act 3, it turns out, like the Manning, they actually have another one in college, and he's coming out, and guess what? Unlike everybody else, he's going to be entering this draft after his junior year, and guess what? The Saints went with this quarterback that the Mannings kind of had a part in developing, and he didn't work out. And now they got the number 1 pick, and they ended up with the third generation Manning. That would be the written in the star story. But it is interesting. And look, it's a reminder of like how small like football circles are. Like this is a very, very small world. And honestly, like if you're doing anything to do with playing quarterback in the NFL, like in one way or another, like your peas are touching the Manning's carrots on that plate, like because the plate is small and it's just kind of the way it is. Like they run this camp, and if you're a decent quarterback, like at some point you're going to end up at their camp, and there's going to be ties to it and everything. It's just always more interesting to me how a lot of times the best coaches are people who just like weren't able to fully do something at a high level, and then they come back and they understand how it's supposed to be done, and they end up teaching it. Like those are usually the people that are the best coaches of things. And I think that's probably something that happened here. This is, someone that really understands the process in what it takes to play the position, but like couldn't actually do it at a high level himself.
But a big comp that a lot of Louisiana people are going to probably raise their eyebrows out whenever the Landry clan compares Shuck to Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. But look, like the thing is, Mike Tripler wrote that story. The thing to me, like when you watch Chuck, though, is the mechanics are really clean. Like he does have like a really good lower base, and if you like really want to get in like the nerdy stuff, like the way he moves his lower base is very picturesque. Like it is very much how you want to play quarterback, and I think Joe Burrow, now that Tom Brady's gone, kind of epitomizes mechanics and proper mechanics and the process and all that stuff. And like, I see how those comparisons get made, but every year, like when the draft comes up, like someone will be like, who does he remind you of or something? Like, I will never say an answer because you always comp someone. Like, it's like a third round forever. Like, yeah, it's like they want you to comp him to somebody. It's like, well, like, yeah, he kind of looks like Jared Goff, but he's not Jared Goff. Like, you always step it down a little bit, and it's like, no, I'm not. Like, I just will never ever do that because this is what happens. Like, you understand what someone's saying, but it just sounds nuts, and it's like, yeah, he isn't Joe Burrow. How can you compare him to Joe Burrow?
It's Jared Goff with mobility.
Yeah.
What do you expect the Saints to do moving forward, move wise? Now that it's after June 1st, do you expect any free agency signings coming up?
Probably little ones. I mean, like there's a couple things that are still lingering out there. Like I could see Asante Samuel still potentially ended up coming here. Like he visited, he has ties and everything. Like if the money isn't out there and they don't feel great about what they have, I can see that one happening. I think the receiver market's still out there. Keenan Allen's still out there. Like there's a couple possibilities, but I'm not expecting anything game changing. And frankly, like those guys aren't available. But B, I don't think the Saints should be trying to change the game. Like I think they should just be trying to figure out what they got. If you can make a couple moves to make things like slightly better, but like they just need to have this season focus on development, go through it, see what they are, see what they have, and just keep building this thing the right way. But there aren't any short-term fixes out there. So like Asante Samuel coming over and making it more possible for Alontae Taylor to be settled into the position that he should be at, really, which is, I think, is covering the slot and being a dynamic playmaker. If you can get someone here that allows you to lean all the way into that, I think that's a plus, and it benefits a young player who might be part of your future. Alontae's going to need a contract here soon, too, if they want to keep him. And, like Keenan Allen makes sense for developing your younger quarterback, but I don't think, I think this is a team that should just be fully leaned into the rebuild. And, obviously there just really isn't anything else they can do at this point because those guys don't exist.
We appreciate your time this morning. What do y'all have coming up over at New Orleans.football?
Just coverage coming up. Got the OTA tomorrow. Like these transitions are outrageous, man. But yeah, we got the OTA tomorrow. We'll have all the coverage of that. We got minicamp next week. So I won't be able to come on next week Wednesday. We got minicamp. But yeah,
that's how we played it over here. Do it live.
But yeah, man, we're just trying to keep it looking good like you guys, man. That studio looks amazing. Like it looks really good, man.
Thank you very much.
It. Quick turnaround.
Yes, sir.
That's how we do it. Thank you, man.
Yep. We'll talk again soon.
Talk you next time.
2 weeks.
Yep.
There he is. Nick. Oh, he was already gone.
I hope he caught the end of it.
That would have been awesome. We appreciate Nick every time. Great insight, great stuff. Once again, the mood is just it's so much more fun. Like it's always been fun to talk to Nick, but it's so much more fun now that there's actually a semblance of light with the Saints and like some sense of direction. It's not just doom and gloom for an entire 15-minute segment.
And how many times can I come on and talk about he's going to be the quarterback here? I don't know what y'all want. And now it's like, I can't believe he retired. He's like all the best dudes, like, thank God.
Hallelujah.
Like, you got out of purgatory. It's either now you're either going to heaven or hell, but at least you'll learn something. Yeah, like get me out of the confessional.
Yeah.
Just tell me my sentence.
Fair enough. We appreciate Nick when he joins us every single time and all the work he does over at NewOrleans.football. Make sure you check it out.
Subscribe.
And make sure you subscribe over here. I was just putting the thumbnail on this live show for today, and I pulled up the back end of the YouTube, and we are at 9,356 subscribers, 600 away from our goal of 10,000 before football season starts. I think we can reach that and crush it. Don't forget.
I want a plaque. I want another plaque.
You want another plaque? I would love a plaque. That would be great.
Tell that to my dentist.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. That's this comedian over here.
Yeah, send him home.
I'm tired.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the show. The channel has gone up 400 subs in the last 28 days. We appreciate all of your support. As Tingle & Co. is officially underway, it is time, I believe, to connect athletically and continue our hot streak of we've kind of been flexing a little bit this week as we finally have a team between us three that can get the job done.
It feels like it.
Much better than we had Christian around, that's for sure.
He didn't.
Christian would have been like, I don't know, my ex? That would have been his answer.
A winger, that reminds me of
even strength. Gosh, she was so
she
strong.
left me shorthanded.
She was the center of my attention.
Oh boy, so this is
okay.
This is tricky.
All right.
This is all
out of our.
Oh no!
This is all out of our wheelhouse.
Okay,
we're a little too
in the
confident.
Chat.
Step up, please.
Winger, defenseman, goaltender are positions.
Okay.
These are different types of goals, or like things that can happen on a hockey thing.
Yeah.
Let's go.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, the four
Genius,
positions
Lloyd.
are positions.
Yep. And then
the next, we're eliminating. Now we're in trouble.
Canadian teams versus not Canadian teams.
That makes sense. So it'd be
Ottawa and
is that
Edmonton.
no?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Oh my God!
Let's go. Knock it out. Finish it off.
Time it.
Okay.
Boom! Oh, God, that's
you don't think we know ball? I know puck.
No puck.
We know puck. I don't give a puck.
Hockey, baby.
Hockey, baby.
We have to open it.
It's a sport.
We have to open a pack for that.
Oh, crush a pack.
We earned a pack.
We got baseball teams.
Oh, I was about to say if there's a hockey card.
Oh, son of a
Pick
bitch.
a team.
Son of a bitch.
I thought we'd save this for tomorrow.
No, we're going to do it tomorrow too, but
I don't want to eat today.
You have to eat today. You're hungry. Need breakfast.
Just baseball?
Just baseball.
Just
MLB teams.
Team.
Shout out to AJ Sports Cards.
Sucks?
Montreal Expos.
That's the active teams. Rockies.
The Rockies.
Oh.
I'm going to be a Rocky in there.
Oakland Athletics.
The A's. Give me the...
He's got a couple young stars.
Give me the Mariners.
I know, I'm nervous about it. I'll eat Tommy White, though.
Pause. God, there's a lot of cards in this.
Yeah, show's over.
16 cards in this pack. Okay, we got Giants, White Sox, Rays, Guardians, Nationals.
Let's go.
Oakland A's.
No!
Who's he?
Shout out to Sam Moll from the A's. Let's read off his stats here. He's 5'9", 190, throws lefty, bats lefty. He's drafted on June 3rd, 2013. Wow. He's 5'9", 190.
That's not a big meal.
It's not a big meal. Shout out Sam Moll. Lloyd's gonna eat that.
I know why you're asking like it's gonna affect.
See, bring that to Lloyd
No,
so he can get to eating. I'll read off the rest of them. Cardinals. Oh, Josh Smith. Let's go Tigers.
Oh,
that's a good omen, is it not? Oh, we've got a Yankee, got a Red Sox. Oh, we've got a.
Is Sam all good? Should I not eat this?
I don't believe.
Eat the fucking card.
Detroit Tigers, a Milwaukee Brewer, Tampa Bay Ray, another one. Clayton Kershaw, Dodger. We have 2 cards left. A Yankee and
Don't be another A.
an Astro. Just Lloyd this morning.
My
Appreciate
GI
you
doctor
guys.
is gonna be thrilled.
As we close it out.
I don't have any water.
Lloyd enjoys his card. That's your fault. You should have been prepared. You never know when things are going to happen. Got to keep on your toes around. Shout out to AJ Sports Cards.
brother.
Don't forget, tomorrow she will join. AJ Sports Cards will join us live.
Delicious.
To open up some packs with us. Shout out to them in their second year of their 2-year anniversary. Don't forget about the Death Valley Sports Collectible Show at the Crown Plaza Executive Center, June 28th. Ashton Larson, Daniel Dickinson, Jared Bear Jones, Kate Anderson, Monster Milam, William Schmidt.
They're all going to eat a card.
Lloyd is going to try and get everyone to eat a card at the Death Valley Sports Collectible Show.
Why are we eating cards? Why did this start?
I don't know.
Just out of curiosity.
Lloyd's idea, so honestly, it's fitting that he's the one eating
Is that
the
it?
card.
That's all it was? It was just Lloyd said we should eat
it got
cards?
us a sponsor.
It did. It worked out.
I'm, you know.
Shout out to Josh Smith, rookie card. Go Tigers. This is a good omen for this weekend,
You're
I
going to be
believe.
constipated. I believe so.
Yep, I mean.
It does actually
Stuff happens.
Some pretty
Jonathan
negative
was bitching about it earlier.
Nice.
You did it. Oh,
know.
God, it tastes so much like eat.
I mean, Gage ate 3 at that watch party.
They don't digest well.
Yeah, and these are glossy.
Yeah, those are.
That's
gloss
the thing.
Got some glosses. Might be poison. That's disgusting. We appreciate you guys this morning. Don't forget, this weekend, join us at Golf Suites. Everybody pull up. I do think we'll have a stronger contingency this weekend just from some of the comments and replies that I've seen and then the live chat as well.
Not an easy thing to die. Like, you don't want to go down.
No, it's not meant to be eaten.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
that's true.
Yeah, that's the problem. We'll be live from Golf Suites this weekend.
Gotta love Golf
We'll see
Suites.
you. Yeah, you got to. We'll
got
see you
to.
tomorrow morning, 7 to 9.
Swallow
Here.
a golf ball.
Tingle and Co. Wow. Swallow a golf ball.
Yeah, that's the next challenge.
No.
Tingle that subscribe.
Don't do that.
You thought it was bad to hold hands. Why don't you swallow a ball, boy?
Jeez,
I don't like the way you said that. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9.